So this case took 3 years to get to trial, which is a very long time. This family has been incredibly patient with the long court process. We're very happy to have the verdicts delivered today that were delivered. Those verdicts were guilty on 2 counts of Class A negligent homicide, which is based on the combined effects of both alcohol and marijuana use at the time of the collision, as well as Class B negligent homicide convictions for negligently causing the death of both of the decedents. We look forward to being able to tell the judge about the life of the 2 people that lost their lives, Joel and Maxine McLean, who are beautiful, wonderful people. Joel McLean happened to have been a pastor at a pastoral retreat in Canterbury, New Hampshire, visiting from Maine, and was actually on the road on 202 in those late evening hours so he could go back home to Maine to make sure he could deliver his morning sermon to his own congregation. So these are people who had given so much of themselves, and my understanding through the family is that they both would have already forgiven the defendant for these actions, and the whole family's model of trust and forgiveness is truly beautiful and a blessing, and it made it much easier for Attorney DiGiovanni and myself to try the case. We actually owe a lot to them, and we're glad we can deliver this day for them.
Especially with fatals, it's so heart-wrenching. And I was just talking with the sheriff about this. I mean, what's your message to a person who thinks that they're okay to drive when they've been partaking?
It's a great point that you make, because in this particular instance, no one would have taken the keys away from Mr. Shaw. He was not showing any outward signs of impairment. And what's important to remember in New Hampshire is that driving while intoxicated does not mean that you were falling down drunk or vomiting or slurring your words necessarily. It simply means that you've taken in enough of a substance that impairs your ability to drive to any degree. It's a pretty low standard. What I argued to the jury was that we all owe each other the space and the right and the privilege to operate safely on our roads, and that means we have to trust each other to make sure that we're not affecting our bodies with the use of substances like Mr. Shaw did. So the message would be, if you have even a slightest question that someone's able to drive for them, get them home safely, take the keys away. Be the bad friend that takes the keys away, but you might save a life.